Alright, this is Kanaya, and today is January 8th. So I'm using this blue for my calm colors. So now I'm going to use the blue because I feel cool, calm, and collected. So now we're going to use the blue for our calm color. So let's talk about what makes a person calm. So yesterday we talked about what's an inner circle, the middle circle, and the outer circle. So a recap from yesterday is the inner circle are the people who is very close to you, who understands you, and people who always trustworthy and always there for you for when you need them. So the middle circle is when you try to share their experience with them, but their interest is not really the same. The outer circle is when you see them often, but not recently all the time. So that's recently what these three words means in a circle. So today we're going to talk about, there are two things we're going to talk about today. What makes them calm, what makes a person calm, and what does it mean when you have deep connections with somebody. So here are some things that could help a person feel calm, included deep breathing or relaxation techniques that can help lower blood pressure, slow the heart rate, and reduce stress. Progressive muscle relaxation involves tension and then slowly relaxing different muscles in the body. This can help reduce anxiety and muscle tension. Listening to music. Music can help activate reward system in the brain that could increase feelings of pressure and reduce stress and anxiety. Like a lot of people listen to music also to get rid of stress. Exercise helps use up extra adrenaline that can cause anxiety. Mindfulness and meditation can help manage stress and reduce the impact of negative emotions. Talk about feelings. Talk with friends or family or journaling can help process emotions. So these all can help relieve stress. So we don't want to stress too much, but it's good to have stress. Oops, look at that. I made one mistake. Let me take this off for a second. Didn't even realize I got 2 granny spike stitches instead of 3. Look. Oh my goodness. You see, I was so fast yesterday, I didn't even realize it was 2 granny spike stitches. Alright, I'll come back to this. Alright, back to the blue, guys. I just have to fix that mistake. It was like 2 granny spike stitches out of 3. Yo, I was like, oh my goodness. Alright, so let's see the other sides of a calm person included steady eye contact, lack of studying, or jerky movements, slow and controlled breathing, soft and even a tone of voice, which is some of them are like soft spoken people. Like I know, like I've heard of a lot of soft spoken people. Lack of tension, facial muscles, minim, minimal fidgeting of movements, open body language with arms across, relaxed posture with shoulders down. So that's what the size of a calm person. So now let's talk about what does it mean when you have deep connections with someone that's close to you. So a deep connection refers to a strong, meaningful bond between people where there's a sense of mutual understanding, empathy, vulnerability, and trust, allowing individuals to feel truly seen or heard or valued by each other, often going beyond superficial interactions to share deeper thoughts, emotions, and experience. It could be found in romantic relationships, friendships, or even certain professional connections. That means, like, when you have deep connections with someone, you're willing to share your emotions or experience with them, or deeper thoughts, or etc. Key aspects to a deep connection, open communication, being able to honestly express thoughts and feelings without fear or judgment, active listening, paying full attention, and truly understanding the other person's perspective, meaning understanding what the person is talking about or what point are they trying to get to, because you never know what the person could be going through or what the person has done in past tense or so. Empathy, the ability to see things from another person's point of view and share their emotions. Vulnerability, feeling safe and share personal experience and insecurities. Share values and experience. Having common ground in terms of beliefs in life events. Mutual respect and appreciations. Valuing each other's individuals and strength. So so that's what you're supposed to have when you have deep connections with someone, like someone who is willing to listen or to understand your feelings or understand what you've been going through past few years or past tense or or in the past in general. Doesn't have to be past tense, because in the past is already happening and the present is already going through right now. Like, it's like, or what you're going to do in the present. Let's just say what you're going to do in the present, because it doesn't even matter in the past. it doesn't exist anymore. So yes. So yes. So even though based on where I read it kind of reminds you to open up a little bit, like share your thoughts and feelings or experience. So open up is kind of like the same thing, like you share your thoughts and experience with them. And it's like I heard expression like open up, share your thoughts and feelings, or you can so as long as they open up to ideas and stuff, or they're willing to share their ideas too. So when you interested in like doing something, they're willing to share their thoughts and ideas too. They're willing to share a lot of that stuff. Like like some people is willing to share, and not everybody is willing to share, and that's okay too. But we can try to encourage them to open up a little and share their thoughts and feelings. Like you could ask them, would you like to share your thoughts and feelings with us, or would you like to share, well, not with us, let's give it up. Would you like to share your thoughts and feelings, or would you like to discuss what's bothering you? You could ask those type of questions, so maybe the person will open up and say, this is what's bothering them. But we can try to encourage them, but we can't push them to share their thoughts and feelings, because if we just push them to say, oh, maybe you should share your thoughts, or maybe you should share your feelings with them, no, that's not how it works. You can ask them. If they don't want to, we don't keep pushing them, because it's gonna make them feel worse than what they already feeling. Or you can ask, is there anything I can do to help you with your situation? Or is there anything I can do to help you with your problems? Yep. So, so deep connections is when you share your thoughts, feelings, ideas, and emotions with them. So that's all with them. So that's way we can make the person feel interested. So let's see. So when we have a deep connection with someone, we able to understand them, and well, people who feel a deep connection with are people who we understand and understand us back. So it's kind of like understanding each other, each other's thoughts and feelings, because at least if we do understand, that the person will know that we're listening. So if if we explain to the person and they don't understand, that shows that they're not listening. They're not really into that conversation. So if we show deep connections with them, then we're willing to understand what is being said, as opposed to the person have to keep explaining it to them, because it's not gonna work out the way it plans. So it says, what do you call a deep connection with someone? It's called like a close relationship. So that's so yeah, so that's but you can have someone that's your closest relationship with, like either your friends, your family, your spouse. It can be anybody that you can have a closer relationship with. Either your friends or your family, your counselors, your bus matrons, well, you can't have a close relationship with your bus matrons because that's their job to ride the bus, but either your friends, your family, it could be anybody that you get close with. So that's why we have close relationship with people, because that shows that people willing to understand and say, oh, this is what the person is going through or what the person does. Because so that's why we have a discussion and talk about different stuff, like what you feel or how you feel and how you interact with people, because that means people are very nice. But yeah, if like with nice people, we talk and have nice conversations with them. But then if people come off rude and disrespectful, then you say something or you can tell them to don't. So that's the good part about deep connections. So let's go to say what. So let's see antonym. Let's see synonyms. Let's see like close relationship, intimate understanding, meaningful connections, a strong bond. These are all fall into deep connections. So you have a strong bond with people and a lot of stuff that's being said. So what is let's see what happens when you don't show deep when you don't have a deep connection with someone. So it says, let me see. So it says, what? It's when you don't show with someone. So when you don't show a deep connection with someone, it can lead to feeling of distance, lack of intimacy, a sense of disconnections, and the relationship potentially causing the other person to feel unvalued, misunderstood, and emotionally isolated, which can negatively impact the overall quality of the bond you share. So, when you don't show deep connection with people, then you don't really share interests or emotions, or you don't share interests, emotions, or thoughts about what's happening. So it makes a person feel like they're not really interested, they're not really understanding, or so that means in this case the person might not know who you are if you don't share your interests with them or share your thoughts with them. So like I was saying in the beginning, like we can encourage them to share their thoughts, or we won't say anything and leave them the way they should be, or leave them alone, because we don't want to keep asking them and asking them and then they don't share their thoughts and feelings. So we ask once, and if they don't want to, we're not going to push the issue about it, because there's someone who has a deep connection with that can share their thoughts and feelings. So it says key points about not showing deep connection: lack of emotional intimacy. Without sharing vulnerabilities and deep thoughts, in relationship might feel superficial and shallow. Reduce trust and closeness. Not opening it up can hold not opening it up can hinder the development of trust and a sense of closeness with the other person. Feeling unheard and unseen. If you don't actually listen and engage with their emotions, which meaning not caring about their emotions, the other person might feel like their needs are not being acknowledged. So when you don't have respect for other people's feelings, and they feel like their feelings is dismissed, like I feel like the other person is not helping me with the situation, or it's not really doing nothing much about the situation. So I feel isolated, or I feel dismissed. So we don't want the person to feel dismissed because of the fact that you're not showing active listening or showing empathy. So that's not what we wanted to happen. So potential for relationship issues. A lack of deep connection can lead to conflict, dissatisfaction, or even the breakdown of a relationship. So even though the relationship is depends on relationship, the relationship is kind of off going or is bad. So that's why they split up the relationship, because they have issues with each other, or they can't get along with each other, which is like, how are we supposed to get back together if you can't show that we can be in a relationship together, or or if you can't treat me, or if you can't be supportive, you know, it's a guarantee that they might have issues in a relationship. So it says possible reasons for not showing deep connections: fear of vulnerability. Some people might avoid sharing personal feelings of fear or being judged or rejected. Communication barriers. Some communication barriers. Difficulty expressing emotions, or not knowing how to listen activity can hinder connections. Past experience. Past relationship with emotional unavailability can lead to patterns of disconnections. So what can you do? So let's see what communication. Let's talk about like the past experience. We know. So now, so some people like fear of vulnerability. Some people might not feel comfortable sharing their feelings or interests with them, and sometimes it's hard for some people, but we can try to help them out, try to help them to open up a little. So that's the solution to what they might have today to the problem. Communication barrier. So, communication barrier means that it's difficult for people to communicate, or either way. So that way, when people, if people has a hard time communicating, we can help them. Um, and past experience, we already know, like, they worry about what's in the past or what they be going through before. So that's what's making them hold them back from communicating. Like, so hold them back means, like, they having a hard time expressing themselves, or expressing their feelings. so so that way, like, you can't let your feelings hold you back, because when you let your feelings upset you, or making you down the whole day, then you can't stop. You can't let that, or to hold you back, like, from stop someone from doing something. That's what possibly is, like, stop you from worrying, or so it says, what can you do to build deeper connections? Active listening. Pay pay full attention to what the other person is saying, and try to understand their perspective. Share your thoughts and feelings. Be open and honest about your emotions. Be It says, be honest. As meaningful. Let's see what to. And be honest about your emotions, even if they're not vulnerable. Vulnerable. Ask meaningful questions. Go beyond superficial conversation topics to explore deeper thoughts and experiences. Show empathy and support. Validate their feelings and offer emotional support when needed. Spend quality time together. Engage in activities that allow for meaningful conversation and shared experiences. So, these are the things that you can do to have a deep connection with someone. So, when you have a deep connection with someone, you can't be antisocial and not share your thoughts and feelings, or not have a conversation with them, because it makes them feel it's gonna make them feel down or isolated. Which, so let's see what the word isolated is. So feel isolated. So the feeling isolated means that the person will feel unhappy or separated from others, either physical or emotionally. So there's physical isolation, physical isolation and emotional isolation. Physical isolation, being physical apart from others, like living on a remote island. Emotional isolation, feeling alone when surrounded by others. Social isolation is the lack of social contacts or infrequent social contact. Loneliness is the subjective feeling of isolation, and it's possible to feel lonely when surrounded by others. So, social isolation can have negative effects on mental health, including increased risk of death, cognitive decline, such as increased risk of Alzheimer's disease, of dementia, worsened mental illness, impaired immune system, and higher inflation. And so, so that's what a negative impact on feeling social isolation. So that way, for in order to person to not feel isolated is to have a conversation with them, or give nice compliments, or spend some quality time with them, or do some fun activities. So that way, the person feel like they spent time with them, or they had some quality time with them. Cause it feels good when you spend time with people. You get to interact with them, or you get to spend some quality time, or maybe like play games, go to restaurants, go to the stores. You can do anything with your friends. So you can hang out with your friends as long as they don't be so conversational with you, like talk to you down, or making you feel isolated. So it's good to hang out with people who are nice and who you have a deep connection with. So yep. So yes, that's a good strategy. So yes, so at least this. So let's look up. Let's see what are some examples of deep connections. So so at least you guys still don't know. I'll tell you the examples of a deep connection so you guys can understand it that way. So that way you guys can understand it. So let's see. Or you guys might know what it is. Or I can. Wait, let's see. Because deep connections are important. So that's why I would like to give examples out to you guys. So just in case if you guys understand. So it says examples of situations where deep connection might occur. A close friendship where you can confide in each other about anything. A romantic relationship built on trust, understanding, and shared goals. A family bond characteristic by love, support, and shared history. A mentor-mentee relationship where there's a deep respect and guidance. So these are examples of a deep connection. Cause at least if you guys doesn't know this one, so it says, so a deep connection is when people feel seen, heard, or valued, by each other. So these are the things. So that's what it is. So this is an easy, short definition to make it easier. Because some of the stuff is hard to understand, but a deep connection is an easy one. So that way is a short and sweet definition. So, like if we go into interviews, we gotta keep it short and sweet. We can't give out a long explanation, because if you give them long explanation during the interview, they be like, what is this person even talking about, or what is this person really saying? Because they might know. So we must keep it short and sweet. So that way the person can understand what you did in your past experience when you give long explanation. Well, explanation. Well, wait, is it explain or explanation? Explanation to the interviewer. So it says the longer you speak without interruptions, the less attention the listener is giving you. Like so it's like, hence, when you provide a long interviewer answer that builds to the important conclusion, offers the interviewer no longer listening. So they're not gonna listen to you if you give them a long explanation of your work, past experience, and I worked at Applebee's. We did the dishes, we did the tables, we mop up the floors. Oh, I cooked the food, or I cooked this, or I cooked that. People don't need that. They don't need to have a long explanation of everything that you did in your past experience. Cause they don't need to know about a lot of stuff that you did in your past experience. So instead of you saying all this, you can say, I worked at a restaurant and we did we cleaned up or we did something to clean up the place, or no, I won't say that. But let's say for example, like, what if you work at the restaurant? You can say, we wipe down the chairs and the tables. That can be a short one. So that, or if you give them like a long explanation of what you did in your past experience, you're not giving them a chance to really listen to you, or you're not really giving them a chance to talk. You just talk over them, and they be like, they're not gonna understand. They're not gonna understand what you're saying if you give them long explanation. So yes, or they might ask you to keep it short and sweet so they understand. So yes, I'm to this row. So I now reached the end of this row. So now I got the blue involved. So yep, so I'm gonna cut this off. So yeah, we don't need to give them a long explanation like based on what you did in the past experience and stuff like that, because they're not going to hear all about it. They just want to hear about what you did and what you're coming in there for. So let's see. So it says, what happens when you give short explanations, to an interviewer. So when you give a short explanation, then when you give a short explanation to an interviewer, you're giving them a chance to talk or ask questions. So they might ask you, why do you want to work at this job, or what was the reason for leaving your last job? Because they might ask you type of questions for the interviewer. So we're gonna talk more about it tomorrow. So I hope you like, subscribe, and comment down below on my video. And thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned for another video. Peace.